Hey guys, welcome back to Kitchen Table Mtg. I'm your host, Buzz. The moon landing was faked. Imprisoned by the moon, Aldrin. Today is episode 23. It's part 3 of our Cube series. We're going to be taking a look at shadows over Innisrad and Eldritch moon. We're going to get 8 cards from these 2 sets in each color and add it to the cube. So one thing I did want to go over before we get into this, these are just what we're grabbing to put in the cube right now. We're definitely going to tune the cube to fit, a theme for each guild. But right now, this is just what we're pulling and putting in there, and then we're going to be left with a big old stack of cards and have to go through it and see what makes the cut and what doesn't. So when you hear a card and you're like, why is he putting that in there? For right now, we're just trying to grab cards and, have some options when we're editing the cube at the end here. But we'll get into the Cube series, but first I wanted to talk about the Battle Bond spoilers I saw. So, the spoilers officially started today, but I saw a lot of people talking about doubling season, and it was going to be reprinted at Mythic, so I'm pretty excited about that. I don't own one, but definitely going to get one. Definitely gonna get one. If it, even if it's just at $40, maybe I'll buy a box of this. I don't know. My wife wants one too, though. So instead of buying a box, we'll probably just buy what we want out of this set, since doubling season's gonna be so expensive. But let's see. I don't know. Maybe it'll be at $20. I don't know. I'm hoping the old art price drops a little bit, because I like that art a lot better. But we'll see. We also got some partner stuff happening here. Not as good as the original partner. This is partner with, so there's a specific card it's partnered with. And if you cast one of those creatures, you get to search your library for the creature that it's partnered with, and reveal it and put it into your hand. That's what I'm pretty sure it does, out of the spoilers I've seen so far. Like I said, spoiler season starts right now for that set, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure that's what it's doing. But let's jump into the cube here. First up, we got white. And we did pretty good on the CMC for white. So we got a lot of low-costed stuff here we're adding in. But let's jump into that. We've got a 1-drop. It's a 1/2 Thraben Inspector. And when it enters the battlefield, we investigate. So we get that clue token that we can sack and pay 2 of any color mana and draw a card. We're going to have, we need to have card draw in every color, and this is definitely going to help that out a little bit. We've got a little cantrip action going on. Maybe we'll throw Deadeye Navigator in there. Maybe we'll get to make a whole bunch of clue tokens, but we'll see. We already threw in Eldrazi Displacer, so. But like I said, we'll see what makes the end cut. Let's get into some 2-drops here. First up, we've got Handwear Militia Captain. This is 1 of any color and 1 white for a 2/2, and at the beginning of our upkeep, if we control 4 or more creatures, we transform him, and it transforms into West Vale Cult Leader, and West Vale Cult Leader's power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures we control, and at the beginning of our end step, we put a 1/1 white and black human creature token onto the battlefield. So that's definitely probably going to make the cut. Next up, we've got Lone Rider. This is a 2-drop 1/1 with first strike lifelink. And at the beginning of our end step, if we gain 3 or more life this turn, we'll transform Lone Rider into It That Rides as 1, which is a first strike trample lifelink 4/4. Which isn't bad, but I don't know. We'll see if this one makes the cut. We're probably going for a life gain, and Orzhov will have the Aristocrats, and then Token, Selesnya, so there'll probably be some life gain shenanigans going on there, but let's jump into number 4 here. We've got Selfless Spirit, and this is a 2-drop 2/1 with flying, not bad, but we sacrifice Selfless Spirit creatures we control gain indestructible until end of turn. Definitely going to be a star draft pick there. That's going to help out any strategy. So let's get into number 5 here. We got Thalia Heretic Healer, and this is a 3-drop 3/2 with first strike, and creatures and non-basic lands our opponents control enter the battlefield path. it's gonna help out any strategy too. I mean, that's just nice, you know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if this makes it. But having the creatures enter the battlefield tapped on the opponent's side, that's gonna be a pretty strong ability in this cube. So we'll see at the end. See if it makes it. Next up, we've got Collective Effort, and this is one, you know, I threw Collective Brutality in there for the black, and then I looked at the price. It was $20. So I don't know. I've got a couple of these things sitting in a folder. If you've got a couple of them, throw Collective Brutality in there, but had to cut it for the show. But Collective Effort is a one of any color, white, and it has escalate, tap, and untap creature we control. So there are 3 options on here. We could tap 2 other creatures and do all 3, or just tap 1 and do 2. It says the first option is destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to help out. Then we have destroy target enchantment. I mean, that's not bad. And then put a 1/1 counter on each creature target player controls. So, I mean, none of these options are something you're not going to want to use from game to game. I mean, you're going to want to use these options. This one is probably the nicest out of the Collectives series in to put in the cube, and it's sitting at 49 cents, so grab that up. It will be useful. Next up, we've got Always Watching. This is a 3-drop enchantment. Non-token creatures you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. Yeah, just a solid card. And last, we have Odric Lunarch Marshal. So this is a 4-drop, 3 of any color, 1 white for a legendary creature, human soldier, 3/3. And at the beginning of each combat, creatures you control gain first strike until end of turn. If a creature we control has first strike. The same is true for Flying, Death Touch, Double Strike, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Skulk, Trample, and Vigilance. So, I mean, yeah, this thing, that's solid. I mean, you're going to have a lot of these abilities on all your creatures. That's going to help out quite a bit. But that does it for white here. Let's jump into black. Let me change my color. I'm tapped out here. So we're going to go over the 3 that I didn't take from Shadows over Innisrad or Eldritch Moon. And first up, we've got Victimize. 2 of any color and 1 black for a sorcery. Choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. Sacrifice a creature. If you do, return the chosen cards to the battlefield tapped. I mean, that, you know, we're gonna want the reanimation abilities. We've got a lot of Dredge, Delirium, throwing stuff in the graveyard, things happening when this cube is all complete here. So let's throw another one in here. We've got Animate Dead. This is a 2-drop enchant creature out of a graveyard. It comes to the battlefield with a -1, -0, and it's from any graveyard. So, I mean, that's just going to help out no matter what we're doing. And then we got one of my favorite pet cards. This guy's great for a couple different combos, synergies here, but Carrion Feeder is a 1 black, 1/1 zombie, and it can't block, but we sacrifice a creature and put a 1/1 counter on Carrion Feeder. So, yeah, I mean, any type of persist shenanigans with Ivy Lane Benzine, you know, I think we added him already. But yeah, it's gonna give us some combo synergy happening. Let's jump into the stuff we pulled out of Shadows over Innisrad and Eldritch Moon. First up, we got Crypt Breaker. This does have kind of a zombie synergy, but it makes zombies, so it's gonna work. It's a 1-drop, 1/1 zombie, and you pay 1 of any color and 1 black. Tap, discard a card, and put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Tap 3 untapped zombies you control, draw a card, and lose 1 life. So, I said before, we're not going to go tribal, but there are going to be enough zombies just there because zombies are in black that we might be able to make this work, and it makes zombies itself. So, it's that drawing a card and losing a life to tap 3 untapped zombies you control is so strong. This was a $5 card not too long ago. Now it's at $1.74. So Okay, let's get back into black here. We've got Relentless Dead. Now this card is $6 on TCG Player Mid, but I managed to find one. There's a Japanese moderately played version for $4.57 or whatever the hell it was, but you know, I mean, you're lucky if you do get the Japanese version. This thing's only got a short story for the text on there, so it'll be fine. And it is black for a 2/2 zombie. There you go. We got some more stuff happening for Crypt Breaker there, but it has Menace, and when Relentless Dead dies, you may pay 1 black. If you do, return it to its owner's hand. And then it has another ability on here. When Relentless Dead dies, you may pay X. If you do, return another target zombie creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. So yeah, I mean, throwing a lot of reanimation in here. This is gonna have a lot of dredge, and you know, have some delve stuff. We're throwing some stuff into the graveyard, quite a bit of delirium. So especially when we start adding some multicolored creatures in here, then it's gonna be, you know, we'll tune this thing up super nice. Next up, we've got Murder. So this is 1 of any color, black for an instant, destroy target creature. There you go. We got some more creature destruction in black. Number 7, we've got Mind Rack Demon. So this is 2 of any color and black for a demon 4/5 flying trample. When Mind Rack Demon enters the battlefield, we put the top 4 cards of our library into our graveyard. So yeah, I mean, there you go. You got your Delirium happening, and this has got Delirium. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 4 life unless there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. So that's what Delirium is. You gotta have 4 card types in your graveyard, and it triggers. So let's get to the last black card. We got another flip card here. Volderin Pariah, 3 of any color and black, but it has a madness cost of black. We're gonna have some discard stuff happening here. This is a 3/3 flyer, and it says sacrifice 3 other creatures, and we transform her. It transforms into Abolisher of Bloodlines, and this is a 6/5 flyer. And when it transforms, target opponent sacks 3 creatures. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this one makes the final tuning. But for right now, yeah. I mean, there wasn't a lot in black, so I did what I could. Okay, let's jump into blue here. Up for number 1, we've got Wharf Infiltrator. This is a 2-drop 1/1 with Skulk. So this creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. And when Wharf Infiltrator deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. When you discard a creature card, you may pay 2 of any color. If you do, put a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi Horror creature token onto the battlefield. So we got another short story on the card here. That is always nice to throw in. I mean, it's just, you know, there's some options on here. It does quite a bit. Next up, we've got Thing in the Ice. And this is another 2-drop, and it's a flip. So Thing in the Ice is a 0/4 with Defender. And when it enters the battlefield, it enters with 4 ice counters on it. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, remove an ice counter from Thing in the Ice. Then, if it has no ice counters, transform it. And it transforms into Awoken Horror. And this is a 7/8 Kraken Horror. When this creature transforms, return all non-horror creatures to their owner's hand. So, I mean, you know, even if we don't have... it's not going to be that easy to cast all those instants and sorceries. We'll have some other shenanigans that take some counters off, and we'll try to have some more stuff that deals with those counters. But let's get into number 3 here. We have Imprisoned in the Moon. 2 of any color, 1 green for an enchant creature, land, or planeswalker. Enchanted permanent is a colorless land that adds 1 colorless mana to your mana pool and loses all other card types and abilities. So, you know, this is a nice almost Song of the Dryads. But in blue, I mean, great removal. So we're throwing it in. Next up, we've got Ingenious Scab. So, Ingenious Scab is 2 of any color and 1 blue for a 2/3 with prowess, and it has the ability to pay 1 blue, and it gets +1, -1 until end of turn. And the prowess, I love prowess in the draft format. I mean, probably one of my favorite abilities in draft format. But whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So we had that +1, -1. If we can make this guy unblockable, he's just going to do some work. I'm really liking Ingenious Scab here. Next up, we've got Niblis of Frost. This is a 4-drop 3/3 with flying and prowess. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, tap target creature and opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. So, yeah, like I said, I like the prowess. I like this added extra ability given us for casting non-creature spell or instants and sorceries. He's definitely staying in my version. So, next up, we've got Identity Thief, another 4-drop 0/3. And when Identity Thief attacks, you may exile another target non-token creature. If you do, Identity Thief becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn. Return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So this is just going to get a big creature out of our opponent's defense there, and we're going to attack in with it and see how much they like it. Really like Identity Thief, probably one of my favorite clones. So there's that. Then we've got Forgotten Creation. This is another 4-drop. A lot of 4-drops in this blue. We're definitely going to have to find some cards with lower CMC. But it's a 3/3 with Sculpt, so it can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may discard all the cards in our hand and then draw that many cards. So, I mean, that's pretty nice. Pretty nice card draw. Helps the Delirium. Helps a lot of things out. Definitely worth the 4 mana there, but let's get into the last one here for blue. We've got Docent of Perfection, another flip card. This is a 5-drop, but it's a 5/4 flyer. Whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell, you put a 1/1 blue human wizard creature token onto the battlefield. Then if we control 3 or more wizards, he flips into Final Iterations. So Final Iterations, an Eldrazi insect 6/5 with flying. And all those wizards we made, and all wizards get +2/+1 and have flying. And then whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell, we put a 1/1 blue human wizard token onto the battlefield. So yeah, I mean that's a pretty nice get him out early, ramp up, get him out early, cast a lot of instants and sorceries. I mean that's a super nice strategy there. But let's jump into some red here. So, what do we got first up for red? Oh, this is a nice one here. We got Lightning Axe. So this is a 1-drop instant. As an additional cost to cast Lightning Axe, discard a card or pay 5. So, I mean, like I said, man, that Dredge, Delirium, all this stuff, Delve, it's all going to be in there, and we're definitely going to want to use the Graveyard. I love using the Graveyard synergies, but we pay 1 red for an instant, and then I would recommend discarding a card. Lightning Axe deals 5 damage to target creature. So we got some nice removal. We got some Madness activations or Delirium or whatever we're doing there. For number 2, we've got Prophetic Ravings. And Prophetic Ravings, let me find that here. It's an enchantment, 1-drop enchantment. We enchant a creature, and the creature has haste, and tap to discard a card and draw a card. It's got some utility on there, you know, even if we don't want to discard a card, draw a card, throw down a big old beast, put this on it for 1, and we're attacking in that turn. Next up, we've got Skin Invasion. So this is a flip card, but it's a 1-drop enchant aura, so we enchant a creature. Enchanted creature attacks each combat if able. When enchanted creature dies, we transform Skin Invasion. But yeah, I mean, we're going to want to drop this on one of our opponent's utility creatures. And then block it. When it dies, we're left with a 3/4 insect horror. I mean, that's just nice. You know, you got some little bit of card removal. It's janky card removal, but we're going to take that. Okay, so next up we got another prowess card. This is a 2-drop, 1/3, but it's got the prowess. Nothing else to say about that. We're throwing it in. It is Sanguinary Mage. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself there. Okay, number 5, we got Tormenting Voice. This is a sorcery. It's a 2-drop. As an additional cost to cast Tormenting Voice, we discard a card and then we draw 2 cards. So, I mean, there's going to be some madness stuff in here. It's going to be super nice being able to have these discard outlets, you know. So, don't think of that discard as a negative, and it's a nice red card draw. We just got to make it all work at the end. Next up, we've got Handwear Garrison. This is a 3-drop, 2/3 creature, and whenever it attacks, put 2 1/1 red human creature tokens onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. So, I mean, that's nice in itself. There's a land Handwear Battlements, I'm pretty sure, where this one flips into. It's not showing me the flip, but we're probably going to take those tri-lands out eventually and add some utility lands in. And the Handwear Battlements gives a creature haste for 1 red and tap. So, and it's probably definitely going to make it in. We'll see. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Next up, we've got another collective. This is Collective Defiance. It's a 3-drop sorcery. It has Escalate. We pay 1 of any color. Choose 1 or more. Target player discards all the cards in his or her hand and then draws that many cards. Got a little bit more card draw going on. Collective Defiance deals 4 damage to target creature, or Collective Defiance deals 3 damage to target opponent. So, I mean, a little bit of versatility. You might want to use all that sooner or later, but throwing it in there. Okay, last card for red, we've got Savage Alliance. And the phone's ringing again, so let me pause it. Okay, I'm back, and I'm back with the last card for red. We've got Savage Alliance. It is a 3-drop instant, and it has also got the 3 modes like the last one, with the same escalate of 1 of any color. First is creatures target players control gain trample until end of turn. Number 2, we've got Savage Alliance deals 2 damage to target creature, and for number 3, we've got Savage Alliance deals 1 damage to each creature target opponent controls. So those are some more nice options there. We'll take that. Let's get into green. In green, I had the most cards in my original pick, so we got some really good stuff in green. First up, we've got Gnarl Dryad. This is a 1-drop 1/1 with Death Touch. I mean, that's not bad, but Gnarl Dryad gets +2/+2 as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in our graveyard. So, you know, I mean, mid-game, at the beginning of the game, we're going to have a little 1/1 Death Touch creature. It's going to help us out, you know, keep some people from attacking into us. And then a little later on, we get a 3/3/4/1, 3/3 with Death Touch. So, yeah, I don't know. This is kind of, you know, when I saw this, I bought quite a few of them. I don't know. I kind of like this card. The art's super sweet. So. Let's get into number 2 here. We got another 1-drop. This card I got a couple of too. It is a sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. But if we have Delirium, instead we search our library for a creature or a land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So, I mean, you get the Worldly Tutor, or you get a Sylvan Scrying if you have Delirium for 1. I'm liking that. Next up, we've got Cryptolith Rite. We got some mana ramp going on here. And Cryptolith Rite is a 2-drop enchantment. Creatures you control have add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. This is just going to help us start dropping our hand early in the game. So, next up, we got a little bit of card selection here. We've got Grapple with the Past. Sorry. This is a 2-drop instant, 1 of any color and 1 green, and we put the top 3 cards of our library into our graveyard. Then you may return a creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. So this is going to help the Delirium. You know, we're getting some stuff into our graveyard. Maybe we're running green-black or green-white, and we got some reanimation going on. But the nice thing about this card is it's instant speed, and we get to return a creature or land from our graveyard to our hand. So, you know, that creature or land could have already been in the graveyard. It does. I mean, it's like a sort of like a revive, in the same sense as getting some card selection in there. So I really like Grapple with the Past. Number 5 here, we've got Primal Druid, and Primal Druid is a 2-drop 0/3, and when it dies, we may search our library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle our library. So, I mean, we got green-black here, Carrion Feeder, puts an extra 1/1 counter on him, and we get to ramp up a land. That's pretty sweet. Where are we? Eldritch Evolution. So this is another one of my favorite cards. I really liked Eldritch Moon. I don't know, the art on it was super cool. It had a lot of stuff that dealt with the graveyard. I just really liked Eldritch Moon's set. But this is a 3-drop sorcery, and as an additional cost to Eldritch Evolution, sacrifice a creature. Then we search our library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, where X is 2 plus the sacrificed creature's converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library, exile Eldritch Evolution. So yeah, go straight onto the battlefield. You know, we do Primal Druid. We sack Primal Druid to this. We're searching for a 4-drop and putting it directly on the battlefield, and we get that extra land. There's going to be lots of stuff we can do with Eldritch Evolution. Really like this card. Next up, we've got Soul Swallower. This one's going to be a pretty sweet finisher here. We've got a 4-drop, 3/3 with Trample, and it has a Delirium trigger. So when we have Delirium, we may put 3 1/1 counters on Soul Swallower at the beginning of each upkeep. So, I mean, that guy's going to get big over time. You know, if we could drop this turn 2 or 3 and have Delirium, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard. But, I mean, this guy can get pretty big pretty quick. 3 counters, it's doing quite a lot of work there. And then last up, we've got, and I'm not doing these cards by you know, the best cards to the worst cards, or the worst cards to the best cards. I don't think this last one's the best, but I was trying to do them in CMC order. So last, we've got Second Harvest. This is a 4-drop instant. For each token you control, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that permanent. So yeah, I mean, this might make it. We'll see how much token stuff we got, but already we got, you know, we got some token synergy in every color, so it's probably going to make it. But in the same sense, I don't know if we're going to be adding Anointed Procession. I mean, it's an $8 card right now, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see at the end. But that does it, or no, that doesn't do it. We've still got our artifacts here. So let's jump into the artifacts. We've got Cathar's Shield. This is 0-drop with an equipped cost of 3, and the equipped creature gets +0/+3 and has vigilance. Yeah, I mean, we'll see if that one makes it. But then we got Haunted Cloak. This is a 3-drop equipment with an equipped cost of 1, so that's not bad. And the enchant creature has vigilance, trample, and haste. This is definitely better. It's probably going to stay in. I mean, that's just nice. You're going to want every one of those abilities on a creature. So, and last for the artifacts, we have Skeleton Key. This is a 1-drop equipment with an equipped cost of 2, and the equipped creature has Skulk, so it can't be blocked by a creature with greater power. That's nice. But the equipped creature deals combat damage to a player. You may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So, I mean, that alone can help out some synergy. The Skulk, though, I mean, it's not going to make it able to go through every turn, so we'll see how that does at the end. So that does it for today's episode. Yeah, I know right now it's seeming like just a big jumbled mess of cards, but we've still got quite a few more sets to go through, and once all those sets are there, we're definitely going to have to start finding some synergies between the guilds and try to make this thing as smooth as possible. We'll edit some cards out and get some older stuff in here, and just try to keep it, a cheap, affordable cube that, I tried to do it from sets that aren't that old, that your game store is still selling packs of. So hopefully, you guys have most of these cards, and then you can have a cube of your own. And, hopefully the most expensive part is just buying the sleeves for it. So, I hope this helps out some people. But if you want to see the deck list so far, you can visit me on Tapped Out at Kitchen Table Mtg. I'll have all the links in the description below. You can follow me on Twitter at UTBGameCo. You can visit my website at underthebridgegameco.com. Right now I got some D20 deck boxes. Once things slow down at work a little bit, I'm going to be making some cube boxes. So that'll be there in the future. You can email me at underthebridgegameco@gmail.com. We have a Facebook page at underthebridgegameco. Twitter. You can find me on any podcast, Spotify, Libsyn, iTunes, Stitcher, all those things at Kitchen Table Mtg. And I think that's all the places you can find me at. So, come check out the Tapped Out list, and I will talk to you guys a little later in the week. Music by bensound.com.